since his untimely May 5th passing, the death of Kevin Samuels has continued to elicit a variety of responses worldwide. As many men mourned the passing of the controversial relationship guru, just as many women met that sadness with cheers and applause for a man who didn't speak their truth. With a massive following from both genders, Samuels created a polarization not previously seen on social media. And now posthumously, Samuel's philosophies still continue to inspire some, while angering others. But what was it about his message that created a large base of female detractors? And was it justified? Vivica Fox symbolized many women's thoughts shortly after his passing.
This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African-American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, you know, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, you know, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality, rest in peace.
Though many women called into Samuel's show and accepted his advice, many others accused him of being a chauvinistic, misogynistic hater of women. Beginning his journey as an image consultant, Samuel's earlier videos focused primarily on instructing men on grooming habits, giving tips on his favorite colognes, shoes, and clothing lines. His primary objective at this particular time was to, as Samuels said himself, help men develop their own sense of panache. During this earlier phase of his online persona, his videos rarely, if ever, returned negative responses, and none were seen as controversial. While well known, he was not yet what he'd become. Shifting his focus to more dating coach than image consultant, he began to move the needle a bit more. As his popularity grew, Samuel's primary critiques were centered not only on men who appeared to believe they had the entitlement to date out of their league, but on the changes they needed to make to actually get them. This is where he began to make crossover strides. Focusing on reality as opposed to an ideal world, he became more well-known due to his ability to keep it real than for his fashion advice, with his sharp attire topping it all off. With each preceding video, he continued his blunt, bold style when speaking to men as he explained how society sees people from a value system based on appearance, financial situation, and life choices over just feelings alone.
See, it's not enough to just be a good dude. It's not enough to just be a nice dude. It's not enough to just be a solid citizen. That's not enough. Not if you want to have your pick of women. That is and always has been the reality. When has it ever been good enough just to be a good guy? When has it ever been good enough just to be a good guy? Name me a period of history when it was good enough to just be a good guy. See, a lot of times we go back and say, well, back in the day, 100 years ago, a guy just had to go to work. I understand the argument. But women also didn't have independent agency. They didn't have choice.
Though Vivica and other detractors took issue with Samuel's statements at times, the truth of the matter is that he was an equal opportunity critic. Gender never played a role. In fact, his primary objective seemed to revolve around an increasingly shallow and materialistic society and how to adapt to it. Regardless of whether he was speaking to a man or woman, the primary message always boiled down to, what do you bring to the table in this current era of value being placed on looks, physique, money, stature, and lack of baggage such as having children from previous relationships? He essentially broke it down into the haves and have-nots for a multitude of categories. In addition, he regularly came to the defense of black women against men who were jaded due to a lack of dating success.
All right. Hello.
What's going on?
How are you? How old are you?
Me? I'm 28.
All right. What's the disagreement?
I don't feel even if black men reach the certain level that that we should aspire to reach, I don't think the black women will follow us. I feel like 80% of them will still shit on. Whether it's me, whether it's people that I know or people that I'm even related to, if there are strides towards success that are being made,
red light.
There's an active effort to get in the way of the progress of what it is that we're doing. Like, honestly, like,
what does that mean, though? You come in and say black women have been my enemy. You're gonna have to give me a specific.
Okay.
Let you go, man.
I recently dated a woman who was pursuing a dual doctorate degree in medicine and in chemistry.
I'm a PhD.
Throughout the entire relationship, the only time that we didn't have an argument or we didn't have any kind of ridiculous back and forth is when we were having sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, once the orgasm was out the window.
How old are you?
28.
How long?
28. I've known her for 8 years, dated her for 1.
And you dated her to what end? What was the intended outcome? To what end? Yeah, dating has a purpose.
I was interested in marrying her.
You dated her with
sure.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a musician and an Uber driver.
What?
I know.
Are you serious? Are you trolling me? Ninja,
no,
what?
I'm not.
Ninja, what? You date... Your enemy is your pocketbook.
I know.
Hey, man.
Don't come here and talk about black women. Hey. Man, see?
This interview, and several others that were even more severe towards men, illustrated Samuel's impartiality when it came to matters of the heart. Overall, what was the good, the bad, and the overall truth of Kevin Samuel's message? The good is that Samuel's forced both men and women to look at themselves in the mirror and become a better version of themselves. The bad was that it can be argued that his sometimes harsh delivery may have mitigated the intent of what he was intending to share. However, if there's one word Vivica Fox said that rang true, it was the word healing. In order to heal relations between men and women, must men redefine our value system for women that has been based on appearances, age, and being childless? Must women change their current system of values centered around a man's money and power? Until the answer to both questions is answered with a yes, Samuel's philosophy will continue to redeem its relevance far beyond the death of the man who gave it. And that, whether anyone chooses to agree or disagree, is the truth. This is Big C's the Businessman. Take care and see you next time.
I'm talking to the men, and I've been talking to the men for years about becoming the best versions of themselves, so they have options. And when men are experts in when they are experts in their craft and proficient in social skills, they are a force to be reckoned with.